President Obama is putting pressure on Congress to produce an immigration reform bill. Today, at a naturalization ceremony in the White House, Obama said he wants to see movement in the Senate next month and a passage of a bill as soon as possible. The bipartisan group of senators say they still need to finalize several issues, including how to deal with wages, before moving forward.
Well, I think people are more optimistic than, any other time in recent history. So I think it's possible. I think both parties really want to get something done. There are all these issues that can trip them up, but I think that people sort of agree that this is an optimal time, just with the politics of it seeming like a good idea, and also some of the policy things coming together. I don't know. I don't know what percentage I'd put on it, but I think it's more likely than not. So you have the Democrats who are sort of willing to say, like, okay, we're with you on the enforcement stuff, fine. And then the Republicans are showing a lot more openness to, say, a path to citizenship, other stuff like that. And I think that really, especially politically, they're just in this good zone. The immigration reform advocates, especially, Dreamers, the young people, have done such a good job of bringing the issue into the spotlight. And with the politics of it, it was sort of a wake-up call for Republicans in November, how badly they did with Latino voters. So I think that's the reason that now is a good time. We're not in an election year. We will be a year from now.
Right.
So
it's a little safer. It's a safer moment for sure.
Yeah.
One thing that's not safe, at least according to some, are the borders, though. There's a lot of disconcerting news coming right now out of officials from the Department of Homeland Security. They concede that they can't really measure border security. That could doom the prospects of a bill because all the bipartisan support for the path to citizenship rests on the ability of the administration to demonstrate that the border is first secure. How do you do that? We can't measure border security, and we don't have a clear measure of what a secure border looks like anyway. In other words, who's to say that the border is secure? There can always be someone who says, you know what, it's still not secure because there were 3 deaths. Even if it's down from 3,000, there's still 3, and that's not secure enough. I mean, how do you resolve that tension?
Well, I think, some of that is for someone smarter than I am to work out. But the
No one
Senate,
is smarter than you.
The Gang of 8 is trying to make some definitions on that. They have this trigger where they would tie green cards to getting some sort of level of border security. So to do that, they need to really define very specifically what that means. And so everybody is still a little unclear on that. They've said that they've worked it out, but we obviously haven't seen a bill yet and probably won't for 2 weeks or more. So that'll be interesting to see. I think, you do need a lot of definitions because you're right. I mean, even if you have one person crossing over, you could say that, look, the border's not secure. A lot of times within border security, people will lump in people flying in and overstaying their visas, which, isn't technically, it's not what we think of a border situation. So there are just all sorts of issues there. I think, though, that what they need to do is put in place just a totally new definition of what border security is.